Welcome to Point Blank, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. I'm Brandon Stranger, Sports Map Houston. He's Joel Blank, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. We really do appreciate you watching our content. And if you'd be so nice, hit subscribe. Joel, I want to talk to you about the Texans. What Vegas has spoken up on their NFL game odds. Westgate Sportsbook released their game-by-game odds on the NFL season. The Texans are underdogs in every single game this season. So for all the comments that we get on our channel about how we're Texans haters and we're just assuming they're going to be bad next year, yes, we are. And so are the people who literally make money off of deciding these things or betting on these things. In all likelihood, the Texans are going to be bad. And we mentioned that because I want to talk to you. Are you surprised to see that? That's a pretty high bar to be underdogs on every single game. Are you shocked at seeing this?
I'm not at all, Brandon. And here's the thing. If you're a Texans fan, then you should be a realist like Vegas is, like we are on a daily basis. And what that means is they need to take a page out of the Rockets book over the last season and just realize it's in their best interest in the entire process of rebuilding to make sure that they lose every single game this next year that they can, because this is the year that they can turn it around. If they have all their draft picks, which they do, and they finish with the worst record in the league, which they very well could do, then you lead off every single round of the draft. That means you're going to get contributing player after contributing player that's going to add to your roster, and it's going to help you rebuild quicker. If you would suddenly start winning some of these games, if you would suddenly fall back into the middle of the worst 10 teams, that could only set you back in terms of how many years it's going to take to get back to competing for a playoff spot and maybe a division title. That's why it's so important for Texans fans to realize we're not hating, we're actually appreciating. We appreciate the fact that with all their draft picks in the cupboard, you can make this turnaround quicker and better by actually sucking for one more year and then start the rebuild in full-blown mode with Nick Caserio already trimming a lot of the salary cap fat. Now what they need to do is capitalize on picks, be very shrewd and smart with the way they attack free agency when they do have money to play with, and this rebuild can happen a whole lot sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely. You make a good point. It does behoove them to lean into the suck here. I want to talk to you about how this impacts the revenue for the Texans. But before we do that, give us a word from Fitz Roofing.
Look, we love Fitz Roofing. They support us. They support the people of Houston, Texas. And the good part is they start the process by coming to you for absolutely free and telling you what they can do. It's a free, no obligation inspection. All you do is call 832-521-3001, and they come to you and take care of the rest. If you want them to do the work, you just sign up and they're going to take care of you every step of the way. It's Fitz Roofing, making a difference one home at a time.
Joel, we mentioned the diehard fans who come to our comment section to stick up for the Texans, and that's really awesome. We've been hearing rumblings, though, that the waiting list for PSLs is disintegrating very, very quickly. If Houston is historically bad, does this have the makings of Oilers 2.0? And what I mean by that is, on the one hand, you can say if they're bad, they get their draft picks. But on the other hand, if they get those draft picks like we talked about with the Rockets and they don't make the right decisions with those draft picks, or they just don't work out, let's say they're the right decisions, but they don't work out. Does this have the trajectory to go as low as the Oilers did, where an entire city really just is completely indifferent for an NFL franchise?
Well, the difference is it's not involving Bud Adams, and there's not that level of hatred. As bad as Cal McNair is, there's not
for Easterby, though?
Easterby is a factor, you're right. But still, we know who owns the team, and we know that it's not the level of hatred the Adams family had. But at the same time, when you look at it, you realize at least Bill O'Brien's out of the picture. At least you realize you don't have to deal with that animal anymore and what he completely did to devastate this franchise. So patience is going to be key, and the fans are going to have some. But other than that, it's still the state of Texas. It's still Houston. It's still a football town. And people are going to love and support this team, especially since Bill O'Brien's gone. But Jack Easterby, we don't know for sure, but he shouldn't have the kind of control over the franchise on the football side. Nick Caserio seems to be doing a good job already in terms of getting rid of a lot of bad contracts, kind of making sure he manages the cap, bringing in some very affordable free agent veterans that could possibly step in short term. I like where he's going. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. I don't think fans should have the level of panic and disdain that they had with Bill O'Brien or when they had with the Oilers with Bud Adams. But I do think that they will be cautious and very cautiously optimistic, hopefully, as this team progresses.